Hello, everyone. I hope everybody's doing well. Okay, so that worked. I don't know what happened to the other one, but well, hopefully everybody's doing good. I'm just going to do a little bit of house cleaning here. Give me a second. For some reason this is slow. Hello, Barbara. Okay, so hopefully it's all connected. For some reason I'm saying that my internet is not running. Very interesting indeed. Anyway, so delays. So, thank you all for coming today. So hopefully get some readings out. I'm a little bit underneath the weather, but I should be okay. So for those of you guys who don't know who I am, my name's Ken Mason. I'm a psychic medium. I've been doing this for 30 years or so. So I just like to give out some free readings and help some people. Sometimes life is tough. And hopefully I will be able to talk eventually. Yeah, so make sure you mention if it's a general or connect to a past loved one or something else. Or if it's very specific, I'll try to do it, but depends what the specific is. Okay, so let's start. Just wondering if... So, Barb Prest. So we're at 4:57. So Barb, I think I'm seeing a couple of spirits hanging around there. I think one is a mother. I don't know if your mother's passed on up. It feels like there's a mother connected to you in some way. And certainly a grandfather. So the first thing I'm kind of seeing is female pointing at a guy saying, this is your son. And I see him like showing himself as being like very happy and kind of showing himself as being well dressed and like coiffed. It's almost like he was getting ready to go somewhere or getting ready to meet someone. And it's just a message saying that, just to let you know that he's back to normal. He's helping around the family, and he speaks to you a lot. He wants you to know that a sense of sadness between you and him, or sadness that the certain things I guess he was supposed to do but didn't do. And he's also holding over on one side. There's, I guess, there's a child that's coming. Somebody get married recently. Anyway, so he's kind of showing a child being born, and he just wants you to know that everything's going to be okay. As over the next year or two, everything's going to be okay. There's going to be a bit of family truffle, within that year, but it's more of kind of settling things down, and you kind of saying, you know what, I don't want to get involved with this, because he says it is time for you to have your own life now. And all I hear in his laugh says, beware of the car. So he just wants you to know that he loves you very much, and he likes hearing you talk in your mind, because he likes to give the answers, whether he doesn't know if you understand it or not. But anyway, so he's just saying that spiritual life is pretty good for him. He just feels sorry about things that happen in this life. Anyway, so that's all I have for you. So, Donna Jingra. Yeah, so this one's at 8:05. So first of all, your spirit guide is a female. She's showing me their past life thousands of years ago, 1,000 lives ago. She was a milk farmer, about 1400s, and she shows herself as being a very sturdy lady, if you want to put it this way. And she worked hard. She did a lot of work. Her husband, was also the farmer, but it often left for war or other things. So, she was left behind taking care of the kids and taking care of the animals and working, she says, from 3 to 10 at night, and simply because after the sun went down, she says she had to take care of the kids, supper and all that kind of stuff, and when she finally was able to sit down and do her stuff, then she was tired and went to bed early. But she's a very powerful spirit guide for you. She's going to help you with your own abilities and your own past lives. So when you hear thoughts in your head, or you're having an argument in the back of your head and you're actually getting pissed off at it, this is the spirit guide she is. And she says just pick a name for her. So she's been with you with several lives, so you're very familiar with each other. So again, just pick a name for her, and she's helping you with your healing abilities at this point in time. So don't worry about things. You're well taken care of. Carolines. So it's at 10:37. Go, Karen. So the first thing I'm kind of hearing from an elderly lady through your spirit guide is And she, I believe, is your grandmother, who's your dad's mom, who's pulling him in a second. So the first thing I'm hearing from him is to let you know that he is doing very well on the other side. Like they mostly say, he heard you say goodbye, whether you're there or not. He heard you say goodbye. He really wants to thank you for all the help you've given him. He says there was a lot of things he wanted to tell you before he passed. And one of them, he says there's going to be he had some stuff, I guess, put aside for you, but he was afraid other people were going to get it. And he just was letting you know that there was going to be some, I guess, turmoil with stuff that was going to go on. And he wanted you just to stand your own ground. I think he was supposed to get his ring. Something about his ring. Or something that he had. Anyway, so he's not being very clear to me. So he wants you to know he's out there. He's having a lot of fun on the other side. As he says, I've as you know, that he's around you a lot because you guys were connected together in past lives. So now that he's moved on, he's now connected to you strongly, and he's talking to you a lot or guiding you to where you're supposed to be. And he says he's helping you with your health and things that are, when things are going to come up and be a little tough for you. He says, just go for a walk in the woods or whatnot. You'll find them there. Especially if you do it by meditations. But he also says, there are some certain things that are worth fighting for and certain things that are not. And says, pick the right choice and make sure that, he just keeps talking about somebody in your family that's going to hurt you or at least try to demoralize you or minimize you. Stand your ground. Anyway, so he says he likes watching you watch a movie because he knows the movies you watch or the shows you watch are not that great. But just wants to know that he loves you very much, and he'll always be around to give you a hand. And thank you for your help. Anyway, so that's all I have for you. Okay, so let's move on. Oh, welcome, Barbara. All right. So good evening, Nick Cole. You're almost right on the spot. Anyway, so looking for readings from my dad who passed away. Just clearing out the other ones before I connect to yours. Reading spirits make me tired, or they take a lot of energy out of me. Anyway, so the spirit guide I have, or not spirit guide, but your dad that's coming in. He has a great big smile on his face, and he's just letting you know that a lot of the issues he was having are now gone. He's referring to either pains or whatnot that he had are all gone, and he's kind of like feeling free to go back to what he wanted to do. And one of the things he really wanted to do was come back and help family to make sure that, he gives to family what he couldn't do in life or didn't do in life. Um, and that includes, helping you around and talking to you and making sure that everything's okay. Um, and he's certainly helping you with a problem in one of your legs, um, so that that you don't have long issues with them. Um, so I just see him sitting beside you, like putting his hand on your right leg near your knee. So it's kind of like he's just giving you energy there and just making sure that you can move forward in life without a whole lot of pain. Um, and for some reason, he says that I guess where he was living or whatnot, or his house or whatnot. He says he left a box for you and hopes you get it, or perhaps you've got it. But he says he left a box for you. Um, he often pulls you out of your body at night, so you may have dreams of him. Because he likes to pull it to the other side and shows you the world as it is outside of our world, the spiritual world. So you might find yourself going to places where you find like pure love or brilliant lights or whatnot. Um, but his main message to you is that he'll always love you and he'll always follow you, and he'll always make sure that he helps you in some regard. So if you feel with him or suddenly think of him for no apparent reason, it's because he's talking to you. And so don't worry about him. It's just, he's helping you now, so focus on your life, and he'll follow you and give you advice as you go. But don't grieve over him. He's happy, and think of him in a positive way, and your life will move forward in a positive way as well. So anyway, so that's all I have for you. Okay, so Jessica Wilson. Mm-hmm. 1851. Okay. So I'm not sure if he just passed away suddenly or it just feels like, he was I see kind of his eyes looking around and all of a sudden gone. I'm not getting the feeling of what it was, but I just feel for some reason it was kind of quick. Um, so one of the things he wants you to know is that meeting you was one of the best things in his life. Um, and he truly adored you. Um, if adored is the right name, it's when he, anyway. So, um, and even though at times, there was a bit of conflict and a little bit of uh, feeling him kind of pull away from you at times, he says there was a lot of issues he was dealing with and a lot of things that um, he didn't really want you to take your time to deal with it because they were his issues. Um, but just like he just wants you to know that he was truly happy that you were part of his life, and that during the time that he was here, that he met the soul that you were. Um, you know, he's not talking very much. The only thing else I see is him holding a baby. So I don't know if you guys had a miscarriage or he had somebody. I'm not quite sure, but he's holding a baby that was passed that that he's holding on to on the other side. He just says that, life is different over here. He says it's much more peaceful, a lot more calmness, and a lot more ability to see beyond what is shown. And so he says, sometimes people don't see beyond their own backyard, but if you look over the fence, then there's certainly a lot more in life that can help you and assist you in getting you to be achieving what you need to achieve. So it says just keep your eyes open, and he'll always be there watching over you, and he wants you to have he does want you to have relationships. So he'll just let you know if they're good relationships or not. So he'll keep his eye open on you. Anyway, so that's all I have for Jessica. It's too hard to read there. Well, thank you, Tina. I'll see what I can get for you. In May at 2318. Okay, so seems like a lot of people have passed in recently, and I'm sorry to hear all that. Okay, so your spirit guide is saying that you actually have 21 family members in spirit that are in your house. There's a bit of laugh at that because you're probably raising your eyebrow or whatnot. And he says they're all good spirits. He says they're all from family. They're all protecting you very much. And these spirits are very much part of them. And you probably feel all the energy in the house as they're moving around. So your mother wants to talk to you first. And the first thing she wants you to know is that she's the one that you feel who crawls into bed. You make this bed move, but there's nobody in the room. She likes to crawl into bed and talk to you and give you a big hug, especially when times are a little tough for you. And she certainly sees the struggles you have, and kind of like she now shows you kind of getting out of bed and not wanting to get out of bed, but taking that time to sigh and wanting to go forward. And like most spirits, your mother's moving things around the house, so you may think you're going crazy, but and your dad's around, and he usually leaves your little like knife drawers and that open a bit. And if you find dimes, it's usually him as well. He's not talking a lot. These two, for some reason, he doesn't want to talk a lot. Well, he says, make sure you're using the right shoes because they're causing pain in your feet. And there's a sense here that money is going to get better for you as you move forward. And some conflicts with family are coming up that you're just going to have to put your foot down and say, I don't care anymore. But all in all, he says there's a really, really good light shining for you as you move forward. I was going to say he really started talking. And again, like other spirits, you probably suddenly think of them or whatnot. And that's why I always say people, when this suddenly happens, it's because they're talking to you. Um, and then he just kind of smiles and says, "You know what? You're always my favorite, and just don't tell the other people that." Um, so he also says every once in a while he comes up and gives you a hug when you're just sitting there watching TV. So if you feel a little shiver as you're watching TV, it's probably him giving you a shove or giving you a hug. Um, but he says, trust him when he says that everybody in the family is very happy. They're all good. They're all at peace. So don't think about them too much. Focus on your life, and when you're ready to come over, they'll come and get you, and bring you over and show you how beautiful where they are now. So anyway, he says, Tina, take care, and remember that we will never leave you. Anyway, so that's all I have for you. Um, so if anybody, if you like what we do, and please follow on Facebook and subscribe in YouTube. I'll be putting up some videos today. I haven't done them in a while. Haven't been felt good enough to do videos. So we also have if you're interested in a full read, we do have a money back guarantee. So if you're not happy with the read, you don't have to pay for it. As well as other services, we have services that run from $25 all the way to $85, so that so we can cover everybody who may not have the kind of money to get this kind of help. So if you're interested, visit one of our website or our Facebook page and check out our services, and you'll find all that there. So let's carry on. Okay, Jennifer Murray. General reading. This is 2856. Okay, so the first thing I'm getting a message from is that expect over the next 6 months to have a lot of static coming your way, or being very rushed around. And one of the reasons they're telling me that this is going to happen is for them to clear out stuff that's around you, so you can relax and come back to peace after the 6-month mark. So you may feel that you're very a lot of stress, or perhaps moving too fast or whatnot, not having time for yourself. But a lot of it is to clear up things that you're supposed to clear up, especially stuff that you have decided not to deal with and waiting on stuff in the later life. But he says you'll deal with it now. Don't you love how they say that? He's also saying that money-wise, you're going to have an improvement over the next year. And you're going to have to look at something. He's showing me your hand, and I don't know what's going on with it, whether you might have some pain in it, or I don't know what the other word is. Anyway, so I'm kind of feeling this message from him saying that make sure you take care of your hand once it starts getting sore. Maybe a bit of what you think a bit of arthritis, but instead of waiting on it, make sure you have it taken a look at. Health-wise, he's showing me that there's not much health wrong or wise, and that you'll be into your 90s before you pass. You will have a couple scares, but there's nothing that's life-threatening. It says you are a forest witch, so that you'll focus a lot more on natural stuff. and learning or going back to natural stuff, or perhaps not eating junk food anymore. Um, but certainly, your path is kind of like for the next 6 to 7 months, a little muggled, but then it kind of moves open so that you can see new things and being able to use your abilities and uh, being able to help people that you've wanted to help. Um, and I don't know if you have kids or not, but he's just definite. I kind of see there's 3 kids running around you, which doesn't mean anything. That's how many you're supposed to have. But if you have kids, you might find um, an easing of the attacks from kids. Um, so, um, yeah. So if you don't have kids, probably one coming. But other than what they're showing me as being a conflict over the next 6 to 7 months, then everything else kind of release, and you'll be able to move forward, and your career will be good. Um, and again, taking the time to put your feet up and let everybody else do the work for you, and take a break every once in a while. So anyway, that's all I have for you. Mm-hmm. Okay, so soul fried. That's 3254. Um, I don't know who you're mentioning, who Jody is, but the first thing I'm kind of getting is there's a grandmother that's kind of sitting behind her and kind of massaging her shoulders, and kind of I see like energy from her going from the top of the head down her spine down towards her toes, um, which usually is them energizing your what is that, nerve system, um, and certainly mentioning there might be some issues with blood circulation, and that's what they're working on. Um, and I asked them, if there's any major changes coming up for them, and they're basically saying, um, for now, it's gonna kind of stay the same, but in the next little while, that there's going to be some relief as people find things. Um, and it's like doctors will find a solution for her, um, and kind of reverse what's going on. Um, what's he saying? Well, grandmother's saying make sure you stay within natural foods and stuff that and mark off the stuff you don't eat, and eat the stuff that you can eat, and make sure that it's natural. So no McDonald's for you. Um, and make sure you take the 10-minute walks, or if you can, or even make sure that you walk a bit, um, just to keep the circulation going, and making sure your body's able to move. Um, so I'm not getting very much of really negative with them. They're just giving you hope and saying there is help, but make sure that you help yourself as well. Anyway, so that's all I have for you. Okay, so Elizabeth Johansson. Mm-hmm. 3552. Interesting. The last three reads, the last number was 56, 54, and 52. Interesting. So okay, so the spirit guide I'm getting from is a female, and she's saying that you've had 72 lives and that you've been, and kind of been frustrated because there are certain things you've been wanting to do but you can't do, and certain things you can but don't realize you're doing, and it seems to be a bit of frustration or of not realizing what's actually going on. Because she says you do a lot of psychic work without even thinking you're doing psychic work, even though you want to know you're doing psychic work. Anyway, she says, you have to stop trying to still the mind when you meditate, because that's what's frustrating you. And the more you frustrate yourself, the less you want to work with spirituality. And that's for anybody. Trying to still your mind will be frustrating, which may push you away from the spiritual life. And she says you have to kind of, I don't know if your boyfriend, there seems to be somebody that's kind of belittling you, maybe a brother. But she says, you don't have to put up with people belittling you or letting you down. It's just get rid of the people that you feel are being negative towards you, and just because they're good friends doesn't mean they're good for you. Family members, if they're belittling you, then you don't need them, because you need to stay high in a positive way. Yeah, she says, you have all three. You have the psychic, you have the healing, and the mediumship. So just listen to your body and listen to what's in your mind, and you'll know what exactly she's saying to you, because she's moving along. She doesn't have a name, so just give her a name. So whatever you'd like to remind her, even angel, whatever. And then after a little while, you'll understand how she communicates with you. So that's all I have for you, Elizabeth. Let's move down here, because when I talk, these things go by fast. So for Tracy, we're at 3940. So I'm kind of seeing, from what I'm told, is that over the next 2 months, your husband will be offered 2 separate jobs, maybe from different people or whatnot. And there's one that's going to allow you to stay where you are, but perhaps less money. But the one that's going to give him more money, and that he may have to move. So what I'm kind of seeing is you guys making that decision of what you're going to do with this. I don't see him not having any jobs for more than a month and a half. I see these, coming in, and there's an older lady kind of shaking her head, says, he's not going to have that kind of problem getting a job. He does well with what he does. But there just seems to be something that's going to come up that may kind of interest you guys in moving. So you're either closer to it, or perhaps you get enough money that you'll be able to move forward financially. because I don't see you having problems financially, personally, for the next long time. It's just like everything else, a little bump in the road, and then you'll be moving forward. Yeah, so that's all I have for you. That's for Tracy McGinley. Because if I stay up there, then I miss people. Okay. Yeah. No. Oh, this is moving by quickly. Yes. I don't know language that is, but that is number 4227. Okay, so let's see what I can get for you. So the first thing I'm kind of guessing or hearing from you is that there's going to be a decision you're going to need over the next 3 weeks. And it's kind of like a job decision. So there may be kind of a choice on what you're doing with your job, or they may be approaching you and you may be wondering if you stay there or not. Because there's certainly, I see that kind of like a high intelligence on the left side, and maybe you're bored where you are. There's also going to be an issue with if you have a boyfriend or a relationship, there might be some static there because of this. However, in the end, I kind of see you, making the right choice and moving into a place where you're really happy. And I don't know why, but I certainly see you near water. Whether you're living near water or spending time near water, because that's something that will really invigorate your mind and your soul on finding the right choice. I don't know why they're showing there's a blonde girl or young daughter around you. If it's not alive, then it's somebody in spirit that's kind of pushing you into, towards the spiritual side, or pushing into realizing that there's a lot of benefits to you being alone to make decisions. So again, that's just taking walks, being away from the house, because the house you can't make decisions because you have things to do in the house. So always take a walk, get away from dogs and people and whatnot, so that you can have the quietness in your mind to make that kind of a decision. I don't know what the young girl is, but she's very helpful for you. Because I feel it's some child who was miscarriaged or passed away at a young age. I'm also hearing that you're going to need to put money aside for yourself, as you are going to, live to a ripe old age, and that you're going to need money to know where you're going to live and how you're going to live. So there's probably a time now just to, make an account and just put, $25 a month or something in it, just to save for your future. But I just see you work-wise and life-wise being very happy after the next year, and having that determination and confidence in knowing what you're doing and where you have to go with that. And then just ending up in a very good spot. Anyway, so that's all I have for you. Down here. Nope. Madge. Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's kind of a weird what I'm seeing. It's like that there's a group of people that you may belong to, or maybe you go out and have fun with. But I see over the next 4 months with this friendship kind of moving away because there's a new friendship coming in that's been with you in a past life and it's going to direct you into a whole new level of happiness. It's almost like they're telling me that you've become too comfortable with the people that are around you and not looking outside of where you are to find directions and where you need to go. Especially when it comes to, relationships or whatnot, there's, this kind of like, you have to start, if you're in a relationship, you have to start looking for stuff for yourself to maintain that happiness. And, like it's very important, I think, for people when they're in a relationship to make sure they have their part of life as well, so that they have something to move away from when they get tired of their relationship, or just tired that day or whatever, just so that they have something to move away and clear their mind. So I don't know why I'm seeing this. I'm just seeing like a group of people being separated, and you kind of finding new people and moving away from this group of people because you're going to have a whole new view of life, and the people you had before were not that great with you, and then it might be already did this, I don't know, but you're going to be moving into a much higher phase of your life. I'm also being told that you're a very strong psychic medium, so you may have people, you may decide to use that or help people with it. And like I say to everybody, we all have personal mediumship. And personal mediumship is when you sit there and you think of, having a pizza, and then all of a sudden your partner, somebody says, "How about a pizza?" Or, I always use the word, I was just thinking about that. Or, you think of somebody you haven't seen in 10 years, and all of a sudden they pop into your life. And these are all our personal mediumships. What I'm referring to is getting messages for other people. And I think that you're going to head in that direction, and realize that there's a lot more that you can do from the spiritual side to help others. Anyway, so I hope that made some kind of sense. So anyway, so that's all I have for you. Let's go up here. So, little Mama the clown. We all need a clown every once in a while, right? Okay, so so 49. Okay, so first of all, there's an older lady that's in your house and is following you and helping you around in life. And certainly there's, she's showing her being with a young child. So if you have children or somebody else's children in the family, then she's watching over like young kids. Or, if you've had young kids and letting you know that's there. She's also saying there's a young child that was not born, was created but not born, but she's also playing with. And in your life, she says there's certain things that are going to happen over the next little while that you're going to have to step back and sit there and go, why does this keep happening to me? And in time, she says you'll understand that there are certain things you're doing that perhaps you should change what they're doing to move forward into a happier space. And this is not something that's overly negative. It's just something that, sometimes we just don't see what we're doing, and we just keep doing it until we realize, oh, maybe I should turn right instead of left. Um, uh, but she also says she's very proud of you. There's all kinds of stuff that's moving on for you, a lot of positive stuff. And if she says, once you recognize the positive stuff, then you move even faster. Um, but she understands you being tired. She understands that there's a lot on your shoulder. And she's trying to give you the energy. And every time you might find that second burst of energy, and that would be her. She likes to make your paintings on the wall crooked to drive you crazy. But all in all, she just wants you to know that she loves you very much, and she's watching over you. She says, don't worry, says, life will be good for you. Just look at what needs to be changed and you'll be happy. So you don't have to do it right away. She just says, over time, you'll see the spots where you're not happy and make those changes. Anyway, so that's all I have for you. Yeah, sorry, Caprice. I usually say their name. Did I not say their name? Okay, so. So there's been pulled anybody. Okay, so. Yes, Donna, it's a new hat. Okay, so just, I don't know why I'm not seeing anybody to my mind is being connected to, so let me just go back up here. Okay, Tanya Goder. Mm-hmm. 55. Oh yeah. Okay. So I have an old lady that's around you. I'm assuming this is a grandmother. It's very sarcastic. The first thing she kind of says, says, if you can't see anybody around you, then you need to get glasses. Even though you have glasses, but I guess she says change your glasses. Anyway, so I'm getting the message there. 4 people around you right now. There's this grandmother or grandfather. Think like an uncle that's there, and plus a younger child that's there. That's not associated with you. It's just Oh, the last two are people that are where you're living that are not associated with you. So the first one is the grandmother and the grandfather, and they're there to help you make your decisions that you've always had a hard time making. Um, and they're just kind of like I say, people that, when you suddenly think of them, or for no apparent reason, that's them letting you know that there's a message. You may want to take some time to sit in a room by yourself with a drink and just listen to your mind. If you feel that you've been babbling to yourself, oh, I know. Sorry. No, the child is associated with you. The child is a twin to you. There's another child there that's not belonging to the family. Sorry, I got that all confused. I guess I'm getting tired. Anyway, so they're referring to the one child as being a twin that you were supposed to be, and the other child is a child that's in the house or where you're living now before you lived there. So you have a mother and a child that is not part of the family. You have your mother, your grandmother, and your grandmother, and your twin that are also there with. So those are the five. Getting tired. Anyway, so the message from them is saying that there's a lot of family support from you. There's actually 13 family members that are watching over you and making sure that you're okay and getting the comfort you need. And these two are saying that they also take your spiritual body out of your physical body into the spiritual world while you're asleep, so that you can ask questions and learn new things and continue on with your intelligence and your education, and because you'll get answers from the other side, which is sometimes why you'll suddenly think that you're brilliant. But in fact, you're getting messages from the other side to help you in this world. Not that you're not brilliant, they're just saying sometimes we get stuck, so they help us on our path or help us with ideas. So she says, keep going with your creative intelligence, and that you'll find that you'll climb up the ladder faster than you thought you could. So don't be surprised if you see things moving around in your house, or perhaps, drawers open that you thought you closed. Because these two are in there. And all the babbling that's going on in your head is your twin. So you may be babbling to yourself all the time. Anyway, so I hope that helped. That's all I have for you. Okay, everybody, that's all I have for today. So thank you all for coming out. Had a wonderful time. Again, if you liked what we do, follow or subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'll be posting some stuff tonight. And hopefully I'll see you next Wednesday. Yes, next Wednesday, or during this time. I may do other free readings during the day or whatnot, so that my UK people can join as well. So take care, and we'll see you next time. Take care.